I'm Robert Martin, cap ID 657036. This is an abbreviated Form 5 for check pilot. With me is Cadet Master Sergeant Cade Bruce. He's going to play the role as instructor pilot. Just showing that I am a licensed pilot. I have also the trust certificate, and I have kept my pilot's license up to date. Sir, would you care to demonstrate a visual inspection of the aircraft and maybe walk through the checklist real quick?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. As far as inspecting the airframe, we're going to be looking for any cracks or separations. None there. Loose or damaged screws. None there. Loose or damaged wiring or connections.
The next two weeks.
There. Motor spin freely. They do. Propeller mounts. Pretty stable, they're not going anywhere. Propellers are smooth, there's no cracks or dings on them.
Classroom is probably going to be out, so DLC is probably going to be our primary.
I guess to combat that,
There.
find a way to
Cameras and sensors clean and secure.
during the classes, or at least work with your guys' schedule. Like, okay, this is a
Like
night
they are.
all classes.
It is oriented and secured.
Senior
Glass.
next week is
Exterior.
drill night. You guys can come in and do your guys' stuff. So
On this particular aircraft, they're actually out in the
Oh, okay,
arms.
I see. You're there.
Okay. What do we do when we're starting the engines?
Starting the engines, you'll want to call launching before you fire up your engines. Most aircraft are going to be equipped with a feature that automatically raises them to a certain height. On one line, it's 3 feet. So before we start that procedure, we'll call that we're launching.
Okay, sounds good. Sensor operation on this aircraft, it does have object avoidance. What is that?
Object avoidance is something that's going to send a notification to your controller when you're getting too close to an object, and help us steer you clear of it.
So if it's flying and I walk up to it, it's going to beep and say, "Hey, there's something beside me." Okay. Use of checklist. It kind of looks like you're walking through a checklist right here.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So crew briefing. What should I be briefed about?
Crew briefing, you're going to want to be briefed on things like the mission profile, what are we going to be doing, what are our weather conditions, what's our airspace, as well as checking ourselves to make sure that we're in the proper conditions to operate.
Okay. Can you just kind of real quick, just kind of summarize the checklist? What are we looking for?
Yes, as far as crew briefing goes, we've got our mission and training objectives, our mission timeline, our flight lineup, flight discipline. We'll go over things like operational risk management and that, crew resource management. If there's any other cooperating agencies, we'll outline those. We'll make sure that we're staying in the confines of our crew duty day. As far as our environment goes, we'll want to check our weather, of course, any NOTAMs that have been published, as well as checking our airfields to see what kind of airspace that we're in.
Okay.
Test cards. Safety, we'll want to go through any sort of safety procedures that we have in place, as well as anything extra to know that could lead to the environment becoming unsafe. We'll want to go through our procedures for emergencies. What are we going to do if we have something like an in-flight fire or a lost link? Fuel, battery load, we want to make sure that our batteries are charged.
Okay. How do we do that?
Well, usually it's outlined on the controller, You can also check the aircraft itself.
Okay. What can you tell me about sterile area procedures?
Sterile area procedures, we're gonna wanna make sure that our takeoff zone itself is clear. We're also gonna wanna make sure that as members of the crew, we're eliminating all non-essential chatter. We're just keeping, our talk between each other mission related.
Okay, sounds good. We'll cover post-flight procedures here later. Let's get ready to fly this thing.
Alright, I need to go check on them. You're gonna send me this email?
Yes.
You gotta get that?
Yep.
So, what do we typically turn on first?
Typically, we want to turn our control on first, make sure it's functioning, and then we would go through the steps to connect.
Okay. Okay. All right, can you demonstrate a takeoff?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Launching.
Launching. All right, can you go ahead and do a control check for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Controls are good?
Can you demonstrate a landing?
Yes, I can. Landing.
Landing. Okay. Hey, go ahead and take off again for me.
Yes. Launching.
Launching. All right, we're going to demonstrate positive control exchange. So
Okay.
who's pilot in charge? So, my aircraft?
Control of the aircraft.
My aircraft.
Your aircraft.
All right, I want to do a simple control check. All right, looks like it's operating. I want to give you back control, so
Okay.
it's your aircraft.
My aircraft?
Your aircraft. Can you kind of teach me how to do straight and level flight?
Yes. Straight and level flight. Gonna find an acceptable altitude here, and what we're looking for here is just flying straight and level.
Okay.
Nice controlled speed. Straight forward.
So, are there any tips or tricks you can give me on flying straight?
I mean, on flying straight, I would definitely pick a point on your control screen. Not that we want to rely on this too much in case it were to go out, and really follow that point and make sure that it stays in the center of your screen.
Okay.
Another thing you can do is make sure that you have a good grip on
Okay.
your controls.
Okay.
And then we're going to turn around and we'll come back. Stop it up in the same area we started.
Okay. Well, we got 20 minutes to go here, so what's another way we can do a straight level flight?
You could perform it sideways as well.
Okay. Can you demonstrate?
really important to keep in mind the orientation of your aircraft so that you give your control sticks the right inputs when you're flying it, where your camera, the technical front of the aircraft, is not facing forward.
Okay.
Come back the same way. Another thing that we can do is simply fly the aircraft completely backwards.
Okay. So as
Okay.
pilot in charge, are you maintaining visual line of sight or am I?
We
This
both
should-
are.
We both are, okay. That should have been discussed before we took off, shouldn't it?
That's true.
That's okay. Can you kind of demonstrate to me or show me how to do a square pattern?
Yes, so a square pattern, likely something that you're gonna do in aerial mapping or search and rescue. There's a couple of different ways that we can do it. The first one is like so. We'll go straight forward to whatever the edge of our parameter is. And then without rotating the aircraft, go sideways. We'll come back. We'll go sideways again so that we get back to our starting point.
Okay.
About there.
You said that's one way of doing it?
That's one way of doing it. Another way that you can do it is fly forward to whatever the edge of your parameter is, and then you rotate the aircraft. You continue doing your square pattern, and you rotate whenever you get to the edge of your parameter. You need to go in a different direction.
Okay.
Like so.
Okay. Can you teach me how to approach for landing?
Yes, approaching for landing. I'm going to fly it a little bit forward,
Okay.
just for demonstration purposes. Let's say I'm coming back from flying and I'm ready to come in for a landing. I'm going to want to turn the aircraft around. And it looks like we're flying it in backwards.
Okay.
And that's so that we can, our controls can move the way that we think they're going to move. If we were flying the other way, our controls would be completely different.
Okay.
I'm going to fly it in, and lower it down a little bit, and in this aircraft, you can land it. You don't have to actually use your stick to bring it all the way to the ground,
Bet you could.
but you could.
Okay.
But we're going auto.
Okay.
Landing.
Landing. Okay.
We've landed.
So can you teach me recovery from an unusual flight attitude?
Yes, absolutely. So, launching.
Launching.
I'm going to give you control of the aircraft, and I want you to put it in a position that it would not normally be in.
Okay.
So it's your aircraft?
My aircraft.
Your aircraft.
A little more room, gentlemen.
And I'm going to look away while he's doing this so that I don't see the pattern that he took to go.
Okay. I think it's in a safe location. It's
Okay.
your aircraft.
So the first thing that we're going to do is
Your
we want to
aircraft.
tell my aircraft. First thing that we're going to want to do. Yes.
Like to see this
First thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to tell the orientation of our aircraft. So we can do a control systems check to see which way that the aircraft is facing relative to us. We can theoretically use our screen as well, but we don't necessarily want to rely on that. If the aircraft's gotten into an unusual flight position, then it's possible that we could have lost the camera feed as well.
Okay. So we want to move the, in this case, since we're flying mode 2, we want to move the right stick one direction and see where it goes? That's what you're saying?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So I can see from the controls that I've moved that the rear of the aircraft is still facing towards us. So from there, I can recover from it, bring it back around. Now I see, based on the red lights in the front, that were previously facing away from us, that the aircraft's now facing towards us. I can bring it towards us, and then I'd usually bring it in for a landing if we were recovering from something unexpected. We'd want to bring the aircraft down.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got another 10 minutes, so why don't you kind of teach me how to do this, but I'll do this hands-on. You just kind of walk me through what to do.
Okay, that
All
sounds
right,
like a
I want to
plan.
set this down,
All right, it's your aircraft?
my aircraft.
Your aircraft.
I've got visual of the aircraft, so
Okay.
I think the first thing that you were showing me how to do is straight and level flight.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to push the control forward and
Okay.
see. It seems like it's flying forward.
Yep, it's flying forward. I go ahead and stop there and start to bring it back.
Start to bring back. Okay.
Okay, that's probably good there. Go ahead and rotate it to the side and fly it that way.
Okay.
So that's probably good there. Back to me. And that's good there.
Okay.
If you want to rotate it backwards,
Rotate it
fly it that
backwards?
way.
Okay.
We'll do it straight and level that way as well. So that's good there.
Okay. Fly forward.
Go ahead and bring it back to us. Okay. Now let's go through a square pattern.
A square
Can you
pattern?
demonstrate
Okay.
that for me?
So maybe turn the aircraft that way.
I'd say turn the aircraft that way, fly it forward a ways, and then there's two different ways that you can go from here. We'll do both. That's probably good there. We don't want to get too close to any obstacles.
Okay.
Bring it back.
Okay.
And now let's do it where we fly forward to the edge of whatever our parameter is, and we rotate the aircraft.
Okay.
Okay, cadet, listen up. So we're not gonna have
Okay.
we're
All right.
You guys need to get your gear.
Let's do an approach to landing.
Approach to landing. All right. So I'm going to turn
Yes,
this
sir.
away from us.
That's right.
I want to bring it over here. Probably close enough right here. And then
Close enough.
should I go ahead and land? Okay.
Yes, you should.
Landing.
Okay, landing.
Okay.
Okay. And if you'd like to take off again, we'll go through recovery from an unusual flight out.
All right, launching.
Launching.
I didn't do that very well, did I? I made a mistake. I started and then I called it.
It's all right.
All right, I want to get it away from us for a second, and then
Okay.
I will give you control of the aircraft.
Okay. I have control.
Your airplane.
My airplane.
Your drone. All right, I'm looking away.
Okay. I'd say that's unusual enough.
Okay. My aircraft.
Move a little to your left if you would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I want to move the stick left a little bit,
Okay.
and oh, hey, it moved to my right. It must be facing me. It is. So I want to rotate around. I see green lights. Looks like it's flying towards me. If I move it to the right, it moves to the right. I'd say I figured out what my orientation is.
Figured out. Yep.
Okay. What else should we cover?
Let's do a landing and a shutdown.
A landing and a shutdown. All right, I want to bring the aircraft closer. Landing.
Landing.
Okay.
We've got a few minutes left to fill our time slot, so we could do some more square patterns.
Okay. All right, launching.
Launching.
Tell you what, because we got time and we're doing something different, I want to try to do an orbit around that bag.
Okay, sounds good.
And I want to do this visually by the aircraft and not the camera.
Okay.
That's a challenge, right?
It is.
Well, let's see if I can do it backwards.
Yep.
It's been a minute. I can hear the object avoidance going off. Well, I don't know if it was perfect, but it's pretty good.
Pretty good. We did it in both directions. You doing a square pattern in the opposite direction.
I'm just doing straight lines and killing time. What else can I do? Plus square patterns backward. What's that?
One more minute.
One more minute?
Good on our time.
Okay. Let's see. Tell you what, I'm gonna fly over here. And we'll do an exchange of control.
Okay.
So, your aircraft,
My aircraft.
All right, your aircraft, you got visual?
Got visual. Okay, I know the orientation. I'll go ahead and bring it in for landing.
Bring it in for landing, okay. I'm gonna step down here. So one of the things that we needed to do all right, go ahead and bring it in for landing.
Okay. Landing.
Landing. Sorry, you're the instructor. I shouldn't be giving you the.
That's all right. We
That's all
landed, and our battery
So-
is 25%.
We got, 4 blocks at each interval here.
Right.
So the S stands for successful.
Uh-huh.
The U is unsuccessful. V was verbal.
Verbally explained. Is that
verbally
what that
explained,
means?
yes.
Okay.
And then NP is not performed.
Right.
So as a check pilot, and I'm saying this so that Brian knows that I'm doing this. I would each individual item I would put whether it was successful, unsuccessful, verbally explained, or not performed, and then I would initial each and every block so that it counts.
Right.
So we're done flying. We've got 20 minutes. We need to do post-flight. So can you teach
Okay.
me how to do that?
Yes, absolutely. So we'll want to go ahead and secure our aircraft.
Okay.
One thing that we do need to note is the battery percentage that was remaining when we landed.
Okay.
Because that's something that you'll want to put down on your flight log.
Flight log. Okay.
You also want to keep in mind the battery number. So if you have multiple batteries,
Okay.
you want to keep that
Sure.
in
So
mind.
recycling them.
Right, right.
Okay.
So once we get that done, we can approach the aircraft. And we'll want to look over it, make sure that nothing got damaged. in
Hey, you
flight.
gotta go home, but you can't stay here.
And then we'll want to go ahead and disconnect the aircraft from the controller and then start to actually put everything away.
Okay.
Would you like to demonstrate the breakdown?
I can do that. So first thing I want to do is turn the aircraft off. Okay, aircraft's off. At this point, we can go ahead and turn the controller off. There you go. Fold the aircraft up and put it away. And I would say that concludes this 4-5. We can stop recording.
Did you want to go ahead and have me show my license as well?